Welcome to Signing Day Live 2015. Tom Gelehrter, happy to be in the office of head coach Tommy Tuberville, as we will be with you for the next 2 hours. The Bearcats' national letters of intent are flying in. The class almost full already, and it's only 9 a.m., which means guys have hit the fax machine very early. Coach Tuberville, great to see you. Great morning. I think everybody in this office is relieved we don't have the snow and ice of Signing Day 2015 to slow anybody down from getting to the office or from getting to a fax machine.
Yeah, it's a good day. When it comes to recruiting, but this is a cultivation of 2 years of work for our coaches, and I'm proud of our coaching staff. They work very hard of getting kids to campus, getting them to camp, evaluating them, because it's all about evaluations. It's not about looking at these recruiting magazines and say, hey, this guy's 5-star, let's go recruit him. We don't do that. We go out, feel like fit into what we do, want to get a good education, have good athletic ability, character and attitude, and can help this football team win games and championships. And so, we go to the very end of the earth of trying to find players. We start in this area of Cincinnati, and Ohio, and Kentucky, and Indiana, and then we spread from there. But it's again, it's a lot of hard work, and this is a year or 2 years worth of watching film and doing everything you can possibly do to try to take the right 25 guys.
Yeah, no question about it. Last year, obviously, a whole different ball game, as you hadn't been here nearly as long. What were you looking for in this class? What did the Bearcats need to improve upon?
It'll never change as long as I'm head coach here. Athletic ability and speed.
So just like me.
Yeah. You've got to have guys that are athletic, and you say speed, but if you leave off the quickness part, that really eliminates a lot of things that a player can do. So you have to have quickness along with the speed. But it all, in generalities, it all goes back to being a good athlete that can play and understand the game of football and want to get better. Most of these guys are going to come in and at any university and not play. I don't care if you're a 1-star or a 5-star. It's going to be hard to break into a lineup because it's about experience and about it getting better. And so the main thing is to bring these 25 guys in, and hopefully in 12 months or 24 months or 36 months that they continue to improve and make themselves better to become better football players.
10 early signees, which mean they've already been here for a couple of weeks. Huge advantage. They're in the weight room working out with Joe Walker. They're already on campus, going to classes and getting a start. They will start spring football with you in about 3 weeks. How important, you brought in 10. That's a pretty big number. How important are those guys to this program?
Yeah, it's a huge advantage because you're looking for guys to come and go through a spring practice, start understanding what we're doing. They'll be much farther ahead than a lot of these kids that we'll sign that will get here in June. Not that they won't have an opportunity to play, but heck, they've got 6 months of head start in terms of being able in good shape. Playing football shape in college is totally different than high school or even junior college. You have to be in great shape. You've got to be in mentally and physically in shape in terms of learning and playing the speed of the game it takes in college football. And for these 10 guys to be able to come in early and go through this spring semester of academics, workouts, being on time, doing the little things it takes to become a good team member, it's very important.
Well, again, spring football will begin in about 3 weeks, and those young men will be out on the field with Tommy Tuberville and his staff. 14 NLIs have been signed so far, at least as of the moment that we walked into this room. Could have got a couple more, but there's about 4 or 5 more hanging out there that you're hoping to come across the fax machine. It feels like, and then you could tell me if I'm wrong, though, that it's been quiet this morning. Not a lot of on the phone, not a lot of worrying that there's hemming and hawing, that this class is pretty solid and not a whole lot of surprises out there for you guys.
No, the hay's been in the barn pretty much on, I'd say, 90%.
Yeah.
And so we just been trying to hang on to those, but trying to push a few more to come our way. This staff does such a good job. It always happens. The last month of recruiting, the month of January, we have to fight off the big boys, so to speak, because, they're out there recruiting out of these magazines. And then all of a sudden they start losing people, and they always look, what's Cincinnati doing? Who are they taking? Who's close to us that we might be able to take away from them? And that's fine. But we want to build our relationship so deep and solid with these kids that, when somebody else comes calling, which I'd say out of the 25 that we will sign, probably 6 or 7 this past week have had people,
a latecomer?
Yeah, latecomer come to their door, knock on their door and said, hey, would you like to be so-and-so? And fortunately for us, our guys do a great job, and not just selling them the school, but themselves as people and coaches, that the parents can understand that our coaches and their coaching staff's here for the player academically and for the football part, and anxious for them to grow up and be young men for the next 4 or 5 years.
The last month, you and your staff have not been in the office very much, as you said, going out there, firming up those relationships, locking in the commits and the young men who have signed with the Cincinnati Bearcats today. How exciting is it? I mean, the blood's pumping. You could feel a little bit of energy in the hallways, not only to see each other all again, but to know that you guys are building this program and bringing in some great student athletes.
We've been gone for about a month, and we come back weekends. We have
recruiting weekends,
visits, with the recruits and parents coming in. But it's good to get back in the office and not just around each other, but around our players here, because we're excited about going and starting to work with them. So it's fun to get back and see this come to conclusion. It never stops. We've already started working for next year's class, obviously, and have some guys that are getting ready to commit that are going to be 2016. But we're ready to put this one to bed, get it behind us, so we can really concentrate on the football team here for next season and for recruiting for 2016.
Well, this class almost is too bad because everybody woke up early, signed their NLIs correctly, got them faxed over, and only, like I said, only about 4 or 5 more still to come across the fax machine. A great class already in. Those highlights right now being posted here on Bearcats TV and GoBearcats.com. We're going to stream them for you here as part of this program in between our interviews, so you can see all the highlights either as part of this show or on demand on Bearcats TV, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. We have lots to talk about. 2 new staff members are in for Coach Tuberville. We'll bring Coach Tuberville back here in a little bit after his team meeting. Of course, we have offensive coordinator, bring Eddie Grant in. We'll bring in your assistant head coach, Robert Prunty. He's a relentless recruiter out there locking down the Bearcats, and a new defensive coordinator in Steve Klingscale. So the Bearcats have been very busy, and there is plenty to talk about today. Coach, we appreciate your time. We'll see you again here in a little bit.
Look forward to it.
All right, this is Signing Day Live 2015 here on Bearcats TV. Again, we'll have some highlights for you right now of the newest Bearcats to join the University of Cincinnati, and I'll be back with more interviews and Coach Tuberville a little bit later right here on Bearcats TV.